Awesome. All right. So,
Hello, Julie.
hi, everybody.
What is it?
It's been a very interesting day. I started the Maestro class today at my 1 a.m. and it went until 6 a.m. and I slept for 2 hours and, here's the rest of my day. So I'm a little like, oh, are my eyes open? Yes.
Yes. But it was fun, right?
Oh my God. Yes. Every single Access class contributes to this very different space that we all be, but have dismissed and diminished over lifetimes. So it's just so cool to unfold and choose it again more and more.
That's great. So we're going to talk about the class that we're going to have in about 2 weeks, I guess, the entity class. And
Yeah.
I was wondering, why did you choose your first class of the entity beginning?
My first talk to actually, I came to Access 18 years ago. And I think back then Shannon was still a teenager or very early 20s. And she had her specialty that she was just starting to play with. And so Gary had encouraged her to start creating that. And I just was really curious and interested. I thought it was cool. I've always been one of those people that liked telepathy and intuition and magic, Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie in my own way. And here she was starting to create these classes, these intro classes on communicating with the unseen. And I was like, ooh, that sounds exciting. And it was really interesting way back then because everything was so significant. Everything. And when you make something significant, you get stuck by it. And so I remember after, I don't know, 1 or 2 intros with her, first of all, everybody was asking her to do a reading for them rather than being empowered to use the tools themselves. But I remember going out for dinner or drinks or something in San Francisco after one of those classes. And we parked around the corner in this downtown area that I never really went to, especially at night. And as we were walking around the corner to go to the restaurant, I felt this stabbing sensation in my gut. And I was like, oh, what's that? And I didn't really think anything of it. But as we got to the restaurant and as we, got drinks, I was like in more and more and more pain. I was like doubled over and I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is this? What is this? And I just like breathed through it and eventually went home. It did not subside. And I finally, I think I called Shannon, or my husband did. So I was married at the time. And she was like, was there an entity? Did you walk by an entity? And I was like, oh my God, yes. And the guy was stabbed to death there. And she's like, stop making it fucking significant, because I was taking on all the symptoms that the entity had. And we looked in the news and there was somebody stabbed there. And so I was like, wow, we can have this awareness. And it wasn't about me doing anything. I was just aware and the energy was showing up in my body of what happened to this other person. And so when we learn the tools, we don't become the effect of it. Oops, my internet. Hold on. Stand back, guys. My internet is paused. This happens a lot. Come on. Well, at least we have this recording. So, so it's not like, oh, there it goes. No, it's pausing again. Anyway, so it's not about making it significant and being at the effect of these things. It's like, oh, what is this awareness? Is this mine? Is this an entity? You know, what do I do with it? And then it changes and it goes away. So you're not creating crap in your life based on something that had nothing to do with you. Oops, you're on mute.
So I know, because, and I love that story, how you tell, the body tells you what is going on, and you ask the question. So that has helped me in the class that I attended. So more awareness and more asking questions, and instead of concluding what is going on and make it very significant. And you empower them. Yeah, we're getting empowered in the class to know, to ask a question and to get an answer, or get an awareness, and so you can go further and maybe change it all. How wonderful is that?
It is really amazing how much body stuff that people have had forever clears in a Talk to the Entities beginning class. Like, you really have no idea how much of that stuff is actually entity awareness.
Yes, that's correct. So many awarenesses after the class. And I thought, wow, it's every day. And I used to block it and put walls about it. I didn't want it. And now the gates are open and and work every day. And I like it.
It's so true. You know, having the walls up, like, you can't see what's on the other side. And so you have this false sense of protection, but you're at the effect of whatever it is. So rather pushing the walls down, expanding out, knowing you have tools and that you can create a difference, you can create change. Like, that's so much more empowering than being at the effect and hiding.
Do you get another story to tell that you want to share here?
There's so many, and I'm curious what people would want to hear. So for me, most of my experience with entities is pretty light and fun. It's not scary. Like, that one thing was weird. But I don't have creepy, scary stuff. It's usually light. And I guess there's so many facets to how you can use your awareness, and it shows up the way you perceive things. You know, it's your point of view creates. So I guess having the point of view that it's fun and interesting and enlightening colors my sorry, my phone, my experience. So, well, another thing that comes easy to me is connecting with people who have crossed over and who have messages for their loved ones. And I have no idea why, but it just does. And it's like, it just drops in. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to tell this person this thing? Because they're going to think I'm crazy. But sometimes I am able to do that. And I can also empower other people to be able to do this for themselves in my communicating with departed loved ones private sessions. So I think that started even before Talk to the Entities, over 30 years ago, 27 years ago, something like that. My brother had a motorcycle accident, and he was on life support for, I don't know, the night. And I communicated with him, and I got the download of everything that was happening with him. And for some reason, I thought he was still alive. He was just having an out-of-body experience, because I had heard that he was on this life support and he was, still alive. But I flew from San Francisco to Boston in the middle of the night and arrived in the morning, and they had turned off the machine, and he had passed at the very moment that I was sitting on the airplane having this communication with him. I found out it was the same time. And it was really interesting because it was like I heard his voice in my head, and I saw a movie sort of what exactly occurred. So when I did get together with my family, I said, I know what happened. And they're like, how can you know? You were in California. And I took them to the place where he had the accident. And I know why the accident happened, because he was actually going around a curve, and there was a train down the middle of the street and somebody pulling out from a parked spot. And he swerved to get around the car that was coming out, but he couldn't go too far out because there was the train there. And I guess the car nicked the part of his motorcycle or whatever. And he flew off, and he didn't buckle his helmet. He was just one of those people. He was like a rule breaker. And he had his helmet on, but he didn't buckle it, and it flew off. And so when he landed head first, he flew out of his body, and he looked back and he was like, fuck. And I could tell that he had no pain or suffering, because he was like gone. And we saw bits and pieces of the broken motorcycle on the street. And my sister and my mother and I stood there in an embrace and, set him free, basically. Told him we loved him, and, you can go. Although he's still around. So he's not gone. And it's been a long time. He likes to hang out.
That is an amazing story. It's weird, but it's
right?
Beautiful.
And I thought it was a fluke. I'm like, I don't know. I just am able to do this. But then when I learned Talk to the Entities tools, it made so much more sense how to do that and how to teach other people that they can do it too.
That is awesome, right? I love that.
Yeah, and it gives you a sense of relief, because when they're around, you feel this, like, you feel them there, but you don't see them. So you think they're gone. And so you say in your head, oh my gosh, they're gone. And that feels contractive, because it's not true, because they are actually there. And so, there's these subtle ways that you can invite in more awareness, more communion, more connection, to contribute and receive from these beings.
Yes, exactly. Great.
So come to the class and learn about it, and, set yourself free.
Exactly. so much more ease with everything and energies all around us. What is possible?
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to, send me a message here on Facebook or email me. Check out the website. We can put that in the chat. And what amazing possibilities would open up for you if you acknowledge the unseen?
Yes.
Oops, you're muted.
Yes. Okay. So,
well, thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks for having me, Monique.
You're welcome. Thank you.
See you guys soon, if you dare. Bye.